hard to bring change. What about you? Have you all joined the Republic? All of you watching the video, have you joined the Republic? Okay, have you taken the first video? Will you take this video? Will you take what resources you have and continue to learn? Are you too busy to learn? Are you too busy to research, to do any work? Sometimes people say, oh, I'd like to know more about this. I give them 12 lousy pages to read that I paid for to print. And they say to me, oh, you want me to read all of that? Yeah, I want you to read. I want you to spend some hours on this. This is the freedoms of your family, the freedoms of your children, the freedoms of your grandchildren. It may even have a lot to do with your physical safety in the near future. Yeah, I want you to read. I want you to research. All right. So here we are on the 4th of July, and 2011, and I want to give you an update. Many other nations around the world, the list is over 130, are ready to partner with us, and peace compacts are being negotiated. We now have all 50 republics in union verified with documentation that is satisfactory to the international community. That's huge. That's huge. This has all been done peacefully since the middle of 2010. We have met all the standards and requirements for the funding of our restored republic. It's all in place. That's huge. So what will happen next? When international recognition finally becomes public knowledge, and we don't expect it to break in the press here, we expect it to probably break in the press in Europe. That's our guess. We don't know. When we have international recognition, we'll have international enforcement. And then we'll have national recognition and national enforcement. And then it'll trickle down to state. It'll trickle down to county, and eventually to large cities, to small cities, and then all the way down to Barney Fife. Okay? How long is that process going to take? I don't know. It's going to take some time. When's it going to start? Soon, I hope and pray. But it's going to take some time. Once we have that recognition, okay, then we're going to have not just remedy, but we're actually going to have cure. A lot of the remedy that people have tried to do in the Patriot movement would work for this guy's mortgage or this guy's IRS case or this guy's trumped-up charge for some revenue-seeking deal, but nobody's actually had across-the-board remedy. And a lot of people have been thrown in jail for trying to mess up their cash flow. When we get the international recognition and international enforcement trickles all the way down, we won't have problems like that anymore. This is going to be a cure. We won't have to fight for remedy in 20 areas where we've been abused by corporate governments. We'll have the cure for all of them. That's why we're working internationally. Now, we are a provisional government, and we have the authority to re-inhabit what was abandoned in 1861. We are cautious to make any changes on major issues until we have full recognition and full enforcement. At the right time, elections will be held, and we will move from provisional to permanent. The reason we're provisional is we had to prove to the international community that we had actually re-inhabited the presidency and the Congress and the governors. We had to show them that we, the people, had no longer acquiesced, and that we had stood up, we were organized, we were documented, we were unified, and that they could recognize us as the re-inhabited Founding Fathers Republic, and they could begin to participate with us. So we had to have a provisional government in place to prove that. We understand that a few hundred people in each state doesn't give an election to all the people that live there, but millions of people weren't involved to start this. Sorry, only hundreds, only dozens. So when the American people all know about the Republic, and everybody wants to join it that does, then there will be an election that will be permanent. And then many changes that probably need to be changed from the government of 1861 to now can be looked at then. But everything that we've needed to establish has been done. Okay? There's no roadmap on how to do this. It's not like we found the DNA in one of the founding fathers and we could rejuice him and he could tell us how all this stuff worked at the state, federal, and city level and how it all worked together. And a lot of the information of how the Republic really worked has been destroyed and hidden or burned in fires that were planted. And none of the American people have really learned the real difference between the practical functioning of a democracy versus a republic. We haven't seen it in our lifetime. So we've got a lot of learning that we need to do. So pray for us. Some of you were saying, oh, well, they shouldn't have done it this way, or they shouldn't have done it that way. Like I said, there's no roadmap. We have done the best we could, piecing the history together all the way back to 1861 so that we could do this. And we've done it well enough that 130 nations recognize us. And we've got funding. That's huge. That's just huge. So we haven't screwed it up so bad that we failed. But it has not been an easy thing. So we are re-inhabiting a republic form of government. And you really need to study the difference between a republic form of government and a democracy for main reasons. You may be elected to one of the offices in your county, or in your city, or in your township. If you don't understand the difference between a republic and a democracy, you won't serve correctly. And if you don't end up holding office at some level, you won't know correctly how to interface with the people that represent you. So you need to bone up on this. You need to study this. All right, how are things going at the county level? All the three branches of government, legislative, executive, judicial, and the supporting staff is established at the national level and at the state levels, and it's progressing nicely. Okay, and a lot of committee work is being done. A lot of things are being done. But at the county level, we're still making very slow progress. Okay? It takes between 50 and 90 members in the Republic to really get a Republican form of government established in a county. You've got to have elections that elect the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branch, and the support staff that they need in those branches. That's 40, 50 people, give or take. And then you're going to become a court of record with a judge. And the court of record needs a grand jury. The grand jury pool should be a group of 40 to 50 people that doesn't necessarily hold public office, because everybody's going to be too busy for that. So you need somewhere between 50 and 100 people per county to be in the Republic so that you can set up a Republican form of government in every county like we already have it in every state republic and nationally. So, you know when we need to do that? Like yesterday. A lot of people say to me, oh, well, when we get our funding, then I'll recruit in my county. Or, oh, well, when I see this or I see that, then I'll go. Okay, let me ask you a question. And have you ever had a baby come home to your house? I've had 9. Do you build the nursery for the baby after the baby comes home? That's when you buy the baby bed. That's when you buy the diapers. That's when you buy the butt goo. No! You put the nursery all together, and it's all ready for the baby. And it sits ready, but unused, until the baby is born. Just like that, the international recognition, enforcement, and national recognition and enforcement is going to trickle down. And we've got one grand jury in Missouri to handle the cases of 7 million Missourians? That might cause a bit of a backlog. Well, how are the people in your county going to deal with the injustices of traffic tickets and things like that if they don't have a court of record in the county? They're going to have to go up to the only constitutional de jure court system we have, which is currently state. So we got to get busy. You've got to recruit, okay? When everything is in place at the county level, you can't just start running out and trying to arrest people that aren't acting right. We don't have the enforcement internationally. We don't have the recognition. But we shouldn't wait to do that. We should be doing that right now. A big part of the slowdown at the county level, it didn't happen at the national level too much. It didn't happen at the state level very much at all. But at the county level, it's been a problem. When we're trying to go out and get counties to have 50, 70, 100 members in their county, we're beginning to run into a lot of patriot groups, and we're thrilled. And we have Tea Party people coming in, or we have Promise Keepers people, we have all kinds of different stuff, but it's fine. But a lot of the patriot groups are so married and so opinionated with certain concepts that there's only one right way to do this thing that they won't unite.